And welcome back to Realtor Reacts. I'm Christopher, your host. Realtor, that's the title suggested. This is episode 10. You're never going to guess who we got back on episode 10 here. Before we jump in, just wanted to state right up front, this is going to be our first two-parter. And the reason for that, let's go ahead and take a look here. The core video is 35 minutes in length. So let's jump in. Obviously, we're not going to get everything done in one episode. Let's jump in right out the gate and see what we got.
Hi, everybody.
Hello there.
I'm Jerry.
And I'm Linda, and this is Gizmo.
We're the newcomers, and it's time once again for Mailbag Monday, where we bring you our news and happenings from around the villages. We appreciate you being with us, and we'd like to start off by telling you about that little bitty logo. I think it's right there. Mm-hmm. If you push that, you'll subscribe to our channel, and we would really appreciate that. We're loving the gray weather. We've been able to get outside and do some things.
It's been a little hot. I've been to water aerobics. It's pretty warm.
So mailbag. I didn't realize this was a mailbag episode. Great. I've seen a few of these, not this particular one. This should be interesting. I'm looking at the background. So that's the properties of the villages. Congratulations on closing type of sign thing. I guess that's something they're doing now. But that says Kathy and something on it. And then over here, it looks like we have an episode of Lost, the TV show. Gizmo's so adorable here. All right, let's jump in here.
And we're loving it down here.
Yeah, it's been extremely warm. Right now, it's starting to get that muggy feel.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Yes.
You open the front door. You want to leave your screen open. You want the air coming through. You open the lanai, the front door. But it's muggy and you can feel it. Mm-hmm. And it's only the first week of April, second week of April.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it's going to get hotter.
Going to get hotter. Not complaining. We got to go fishing last week.
Oh, he did.
In fact, look at this.
So, okay, so I get it. So the village's sign back there is the agents' names at the top, the bigger names. It says Jerry and Linda below that. All right, now I understand. I thought maybe they were at somebody else's house doing this. I was like, that's cool. All right, we're gonna look at some fishing reel.
This picture, that's my buddy Al with his biggest fish of the day. But I'm ashamed to say that was the only fish of the day. So that was the champion catch right there. Good job, Al. Time to get out there and throw the frisbee. We're gonna bike. Maybe we'll fly a kite if we get a breeze.
Yeah, if we get a breeze.
But we haven't had considerable rain for a long time. And we're getting some this week, and boy, do we need it.
We need it. We really do.
The ponds, especially down south, are really, really suffering. Big week this week.
It is. My twin sister's coming.
It's going to be fun. She's coming down from Indiana, and we're going to introduce her to you. Mm-hmm. And we have a surprise later in the show, so stay tuned and we'll tell you about it.
And there's Sinkhole makes the news here.
Yeah, unfortunately. Polo is going strong.
What is a day like for a visitor visiting the villages for the first time?
Are real estate investors making life hard for people that want to buy homes here in the villages? All that and more coming right up. Hit it, Wally.
Send us your questions, we've got your answers. Jerry and Linda's Mailbag Monday.
Upcoming entertainment in the villages. We're happy to say tomorrow night we're going to go to a concert.
Looking forward to it.
Gary Lewis and the Playboys. Green Grass, This Diamond Ring, Count Me In, Save Your Heart for Me. Everybody Loves a Clown. Those are classics from our day. Those are good sing-along tunes. And we're going to get to watch that. Hopefully I'll get to interview Gary, and if so, we'll bring it to you.
Okay. Well, that's an interesting jingle. So we do the opening intro. Okay. This is very much like what the new adaptation of Insight series is going to be, where we kind of set up the video and talk about the chapters that we're going to go through, various topics we're going to cover. This is my first time. I've seen Mailbag Mondays before, but I only watched the one episode, so I'm not very familiar with this format. So forgive me if I'm a little reserved in the beginning of the video. I'm trying to kind of get in the groove of things here. I didn't know Linda had a twin sister, so that ought to be interesting. Hopefully we can find that video somewhere down the road here. Let's jump back in.
You, of course.
All right.
Polo's in full swing. And we have a
Yes.
question about that later.
We
We're going to
do.
talk about polo here in the Villages.
Oh,
it's a big sport.
It is. And do you remember that one time we got to go out on that field?
Went out on the field and we got to throw out the first ball.
We sure did. And I got to shovel some, well, you know.
I shovel it all the time, don't I?
If you've ever visited the Villages and you've attended a polo game, it is a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. My favorite part, and I don't even understand how the game works. It looks like football on horses to me, but it's not very much of a contact sport. At least it's not intended to be. But afterwards, you get invited to go out on the field and help turn over and stomp down the divots, which is my favorite part because you get to interact with the event in that way. Jumping back in.
We often hear from people, and this happened this week. I sent you a picture twice and you didn't use it.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
No.
We try. We really try. Sometimes the pictures are the wrong format. My computer won't even convert them to a picture that we can use on the show. Sometimes there are too few pixels, and I'm ashamed to say that sometimes I lose them in the mess.
In the mess.
We get emails, so many each day, and I try to prioritize them.
Yeah.
And today I found one that was from 3 years ago that I had never answered.
Oh my.
And that
So
person's
sorry.
probably mad at me, and I am so sorry. Please don't get mad at me. I'm trying, and I think we do a pretty good job of commenting and reacting to what you guys do. Please don't hold that against us. We are trying.
Don't leave Jerry alone. Jerry's just a man. Jeez. It's hard. It's hard to keep up with this stuff. Particularly when you have a channel Jerry's size, thousands of subscribers there, and I can imagine if he's opened himself up to receiving content and materials via email or whatever other format he might be getting them from, that's going to be hard to track that over a period of time. So, Jerry, you keep doing what you're doing, buddy. Don't you worry about it.
Sweet or salty? Why don't you start with the sweet?
Well, we had a really nice little thing happen this week. We had a doorbell ring, and I went to the door, and we had a nice lady that came to visit us and brought us a package, and in it was...
Let you know, remember last week we told you about a couple that came here, and they weren't thrilled with the reception they got. They had some preconceived notions because we paint such a lovely picture, don't we? We catch a hard time for that too. But this lady knew that they were disappointed. So she had this sign made up for them because they were disappointed they didn't have one in the window when they got here, because we had shown that that's done from time to time. So a wonderful sales agent that we don't know, we had never met her, we have never talked to her. She took it upon herself to make that come true for them.
Oh, she's a top-notch agent.
Her name's Lisa Meislin. She's a Villages sales agent, went way above and beyond the call of duty. And she didn't even put her name on it. No. She put our name on it.
Yeah.
And so we're going to take that to them and make them feel great. But Lisa, what a kind and generous thing to do. Thank you very much.
Very giving.
And now for the salty. This is from Paul. I've removed Paul's last name. Your videos are starting to get long-winded and time lengthy. Wishing you could get back to shorter clips with more rich content.
I actually do like this segment. Sweet and salty. I dig it. Okay, so we're creating a balance here between something positive that happened, and then we're trying to offset the negative thing. Jerry is a diplomat, and I can appreciate that because I have to be rather diplomatic in my engagements as well. So this will be fun to see how he weathers this storm. Which that's not the most abrasive thing Paul could have said, but yeah, this ought to be interesting. I'm looking for opportunities to chime in here and put some information in. We just haven't gotten to it yet because we're I guess this is the intro phase of the Mailbag Mondays videos. So bear with us. We'll get there. Maybe we skip ahead on the video at some point to get to the meat and potatoes here. I don't care how long the video is. If it's good content, it's good content. All right, let's jump back in.
Don't we all? I mean, like I said, everybody writes in and they want to see their pictures and they want to hear their names and they want their questions read. And we try to do it and explain. And, half the time we're just freewheeling here. We're doing the best we can. We always say, don't take our word for it. Do your own research. This is entertainment. Hopefully we're helping you, but it's entertainment mostly. Do your own work. That's why we're long-winded, Paul. We'll try to do better, though. Paul probably wants a 10-minute show. We put out a 30-minute show on Mondays. Sometimes it goes a little over. Sometimes it goes a little under. Doing the best we can. Look at me rambling right now. Hey, Paul? Huh?
Are you going to talk about this?
What?
My
haircut?
This pretty haircut.
I got this haircut. And she said, I don't like your haircut. That girl did a bad job.
It was a new girl. Sorry, new girl. I don't want him to go back to the old girl.
She said it looked like I had a toupee. She said there's too much gray on the side.
As soon as he came
That
in
girl
the door,
didn't do that. Look at this before and this after picture. And you know what? I am not hard to please on haircuts because it grows back. I'm already married. What's the deal? All right.
Jerry's my guy. Let me tell you something. Yeah. I cut my own hair. This is my own do. I keep it very simple. I keep it very, very simple. And yes, I'm also. I did grow my hair out quite a few years back. I had a little ponytail in the back, and my wife hated it. And I said, "Well, honey, after almost 20 years, I think actually over 20 years of marriage now, guess you're gonna live with it. It's my hair. I do what I want. I don't comment on her hair, which she doesn't particularly care for that. She'd rather I pay attention to her hair. But the truth is, I didn't fall in love with the top of your head. I fell in love with her. So, you do whatever you want. Put a beehive up there. I don't care.
Your sister's arriving tomorrow.
She is.
We're going to go to the airport and pick her up.
I can't wait.
We have a full week planned. Here she is. Here's a few shots of Linda and her twin sister together, and you're going to see a lot more as the week goes on, we hope. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook. That's where we put a lot of little short things that we can't really squeeze in here, and you'll like that. Just look up Village's Newcomers, Jerry and Linda on Facebook, and you can see some extra things there.
See, I was questioning. I'm glad they did that because I was questioning: is this like a twin sister? Like I met somebody who looks a lot like me, but we're not actually biologically related type of twin sister, or is this a biological? My mother birthed two girls who look exactly the same, twin sister. And so, based on the youthfulness presented in those photos, I would suggest this is her biological sister. It's an actual twin sister. This is cool. I'm learning something new about Jerry and Linda today.
I think first we're going to start off with a little bit of numbers from the Villages.
The Daily Sun put out a newspaper, as they do from time to time, that features some real good numbers because we get these questions all the time. How many pools are there? How many golf courses are there? What do you got?
Well, this comes in the paper, and it's like the little statistics. And we have, in our villages, there's 3,000 plus lifestyle clubs. So that's anything from the
The
Indiana Club to
Beach
the Beach Boys Club
the
to
Dachshund Club,
Domino Club to the Tiddlywink
Red
Club.
Hair Club, Gray Hair Club,
That's probably true.
Blue Hair Club.
No. There are 747 holes of golf, and that's a lot of golf. 120.
Hey, don't forget about the Singles Club. They got a Facebook group. You can watch a Realtor Reacts video on that, where I want to say it was it Rusty? It was Rusty. Did an interview, and I did a reaction to it. So that should be further back. I think it's the episode title is Single and Ready to Mingle. Let's jump back in here.
12 recreation centers.
Wow.
110 pools, including adult, family, and sports pools. 241 pickleball courts. So you can play pickleball till your
And
heart's
still you
desire.
can't get on them sometimes.
I know.
That's a lot of courts.
Ah.
We have a lot of people that like to play
We
pickleball.
do. And there are 15 softball fields at the complexes throughout the community. So there is a lot to do, and it's booming.
And you know that 112 rec centers, we're able to go to any of them. We live in Dunedin, but we can go to Captiva. You know, we could go up to Bradenton.
Yeah.
You know, we could go up to Seabreeze. You know, we can go to any neighborhood, Alamando. You know, it doesn't matter. Pretty cool. A sinkhole has opened up in the Villages this week. You know, we get a bad rap. You know, people say the Villages, oh no, that's full of this and this and this and sinkholes. Once in a while, there's a sinkhole. But that's true of any limestone area. You know, we had them up in Indiana. We've talked about it before. I wrecked a tractor one time in one. It was a bad deal, believe me. And a nice big, that's an oxymoron, isn't it? Or whatever. It's not a nice sinkhole, but a pretty good sized sinkhole opened up in Bokeelia Villas. It's 3 times it took me to say that.
I haven't even seen a picture of it, so I guess it's not really.
We don't get real
big.
specific about where the sinkholes are because to that homeowner, that's going to raise awareness of the problem on their property and lower their property values. That's the last thing we want. We don't want to adversely affect any one place, but there was one in Fernandina.
This is from Schmidt.
Okay, so I appreciate Jerry's position. I don't know how necessary it is. Jerry, obviously, very nice guy, very considerate individual, right? Probably why he's so popular. Turns out that you do get more flies with honey. So, but in terms of having that information not be entirely public, I want to take a moment just from a real estate perspective to put out there, because we've ran into this quite recently. Real estate professionals, and I don't care if it's VLS or MLS, have a requirement of disclosure on anything that materially affects the value of the property, including prior sinkhole activity. As far as I'm aware, and I really wish this wasn't the case, and if I'm wrong about this, great. As far as I'm aware, there is no statute of limitation here, right? We had a property that the sinkhole was 20 years ago. Nobody alive today saw it. There are, we know it existed only because we have a remediation report from the company who backfilled the foundation under the property, right? It was 20 years ago. So the disclosure requirements basically say we have to make sure that the future purchaser is aware of it. As far as I know, there is no specific documentation that needs to be signed off on as a matter of disclosure, although it probably wouldn't be a bad idea to put that in a contract saying, hey, I am aware that this property had a sinkhole on it at some point in the past. Beyond that, any adjacent properties, so where property lines touch, across the street really doesn't count. Although here again, this, when you're talking about legalese and stuff like this, a lot of this stuff is open to interpretation by a judge. So But my understanding is typically across the street doesn't count. If it's a touching property, if it's adjacent to it, it has to be disclosed as well. And the unfortunate thing is that a naturally occurring event like a sinkhole can, to no fault of the owner, have a prolific negative effect on the value of a property. It is the state of Florida, right? Sinkholes are a naturally occurring event. They are not preventative. You don't know when and where it's going to occur. And you could spend a lot of money, doing seismic scans to look for pockets, but the reality of it is one good dry season precipitated by one good wet season, and then there you are. Let's hop back in.
Sugar and Ed. We saw an ad for Polo. Have you ever gone? Is it fun? How much does it cost? We have been.
Sugar.
Yeah.
Oh, your
I
name
like
here?
that name, Sugar. Yeah, you can call me Sugar.
Yeah.
Sugar.
So have you been to Polo?
We have been to Polo one time, and you've gone a couple times, but I've been once, and it was a lot of fun and a great day. Beautiful weather. We got to go out on the field, and we got to throw Jerry and I got to throw the ball in. Jerry did. And then later on during intermission or whatever they have, you can go out and stomp the field.
Stomp the divots.
Stomp the divots. And that was really cool. Everybody who wants to can go out. And we had a good time doing that. Yeah.
And then one of the workers is out there, and he's collecting the biscuits, the horse biscuits. And Linda said, "Hey, let me do that."
I can do that.
She shoveled some horse biscuits out there. But Polo's fun. It's fun to watch.
Yeah.
It's really reminiscent for me of the Kentucky Derby, Churchill Downs. We've been there many, many, many times. In fact, we were extras in that movie, 50 to 1. That's the story of Mind That Bird. And we told you that before. We're just fleeting little glimpses about 10 or 12 times in that movie. Only the scenes that are at Churchill Downs.
Yeah.
But here you go. It's on Fridays and Sundays. And it's going to only be going on through May 7th, I believe.
Yeah.
So you can call for the exact times and date. But it's $20 at the door. And I think there's a place there you can upgrade your seating for $5. But you have to have cash to come and enter. So take a $20 bill with you if you want to go to the Polo. But it's kind of neat.
Yeah, it is fun. It is fun.
And boy, there are some great athletes there. Did you know that all the polo players have to play right-handed?
No, I didn't know that.
Even if you're left-handed, you have to play right-handed.
Running and running and running.
We had a letter this week from somebody. His name was Mark, and he described his first day in the Villages. Mark and Lisa came down and jumped right in with both feet. Look at this schedule. This is one day. First full day in Dunedin. They played pickleball at Manatee from 7:30 to 10. That's 2.5 hours. That's a lot of pickleball.
Yes.
1 hour, I'm about dead.
1 hour.
But they played for 2.5 hours. Then they went to play golf at Truman at 11:50. Truman is a really nice executive golf course. Hole number 2 there, one of the best views. Beautiful, beautiful course. So they played golf. And then from 3 to 5, they went to the Manatee Pool. From then, they're going to Spanish Springs for some dancing. They're loving the Villages more. Regards, Mark and Lisa.
So let's look at that schedule. I mean, in all honesty, that's a pretty atypical day in the Villages. If you're not working. But there's no food in there. There was no breakfast. There was no lunch. There was no dinner. And so I suspect part of, those broader time frames there had included some type of meal occurring. You notice all those activities were outside, too. And this is in the middle of, this video, I believe, is 3 months old. So this would have put us in April, somewhere in the April time frame, which the weather is still pretty nice in April. It doesn't really start to get hot until late May. So, and then you get your afternoon shower, which cools things down. You get that humidity, and then things get real nice again right around 7:30, 8 o'clock, which is usually the time to head out to the square. But, you, as a matter of taking advantage of your lifestyle opportunities on a day-in, day-out basis, right, throughout seasons, you will adapt and you will start to understand how to get the most out of your day, right? During season, you know that you're going to be waiting longer in line. You know that there's going to be less availability on certain functions and features, right? During off season, you know when the temperature is going to get to a point where you probably need not to be outside anymore for a little while. And that's usually between, I would say, 12:30 to 4:30. You want to be planning either some type of meal or some type of indoor activity. 3,000 plus clubs, right? I promise you there's something else to do that doesn't require you to be on a golf course or a pickleball court, or anything to that extent. Man, I get real concerned when I see, all those hours being outside. Florida sun is no joke. It's not just the heat; it's the sun intensity, and the UV ray exposures that you really have to be a little mindful of. So I hope they're using sunblock. Anyways, let's jump back in here.
That's the way to do it right there. But the next day, I would just be taking naps and watching TV, and that would be very tiring, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would be. Well, so on that note, we're talking about how busy we get here in the villages, and sometimes, we get over scheduled. And for 33 years, Jerry and I were teachers, and every day we had to fill out plans for our children, our classroom, what we're going to plan on teaching, and we had to present that to our principal and whatever. But you know what? I got here and I thought, oh, no more schedules. We can do whatever we want, whenever we want. Well, no, you need to keep a schedule. You need to keep what's going to happen this week, where you're going to go, your entertainment, what you're going to do, what friends you're going to meet, if you're going to go out to dinner together. And you don't want to miss an opportunity. And so I got online and bought a teacher plan book. Okay, now you might laugh at me, but this was going to help because there's piles of things that I want to do. There is crafts. There is there's some sewing projects I'd like to do. There's some genealogy I'd like to do. So this book will help me. Whoops, that's not going to show you. But anyway, it's fun. I'm going to have this week. I might do, all arts and craft this week. And the next week I might do this. So I'm going to keep myself busy, but a calendar is too little. And my phone, I just can't do all that on the phone.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you. I have, for the last 3 to 4 years, been struggling with what to get my folks for an annual gift. I've been doing calendars, which is, passe, right? Everyone does. It's not very creative. But I always like to keep things in the realm of practical. So, but a daily planner might be something that my residents could get a lot of use out of. And I can customize it, and I can probably keep the cost down. So thank you, Linda. You have inspired me to rethink an aspect of my business, and I appreciate it. Let's jump back in here.
I need it right there in a plan book. So I'm back to my teaching days, Jerry.
Yeah, sorry, Paul.
What?
Paul was the guy that said we were rambling on and on. She's excited about that plan. To me, that makes it more like a job. You got to do this and this and this. But
I'm not getting things done that I really want to do.
Yeah.
Sorting pictures, scanning pictures, putting them on DVDs or whatever it is. Or,
she does genealogy and plus all the things she does outside. So she's a go-getter, I'm telling you.
All right.